Hello everyone, welcome to Nuts at the Round Table. I'm Luca and this is TJ.
Hello there.
And for tonight's edition, we are reviewing two films from the same series, Alien and Aliens. I'm going to start off by summarizing the first one. So Alien follows Warrant Officer Ripley and her crew on their journey back to Earth. And as they try to get to Earth, Mother wakes them up from their sleep and sends them on a mission to bring an alien on board the spaceship. So TJ, what are your thoughts on Alien?
I really enjoyed it. I really like. This is a great film in my humble opinion. You, Luca?
I like it, but it's flawed.
I mean, I agree. I mean, it's flawed, but none of the flaws really ruined the movie for me. That's the thing. So, what would you say would be some of the flaws?
I'd say the jump scares aren't really that scary. Like they could be sped up a little bit.
Okay. Anything else?
And I can't really think of anything else.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, the jump scares aren't.
Like
I mean, there's the one jump scare with the facehugger, which, I mean, that was alright.
It was okay.
I would say that's a pretty good jump scare.
Like we see it coming. He's gonna die.
I know, and that's the tension. But, I don't.
The only other thing I can think of is that the movie is a bit bland. It appears a bit bland.
I like that. I mean, I didn't find it that bland at all. It's simple. It's not much happens in it, but I wouldn't call it bland. You say, I mean, also the jump scares, they didn't really bother me because, well, that's not where the horror comes from in the movie. It comes from the atmosphere it produces, which is why I loved it.
No, but I don't find it that scary.
I don't find it that scary either, but I still think it's entertaining. A good horror film. I like them. Yeah, just the atmosphere is just great. It's so thick. There's all this, everything from what's this spaceship called?
LV-246.
No, that's no spaceship.
It's called
Nostromo.
Yes.
Everything from Nostromo's dark industrial corridors full of all these things to LV-246 with all of its with its present winds and craggy landscape, which feels huge but still cramped. The spaceship, like the Star Watcher, I believe it's called, like its spaceship which is carcass-like with all of this full of, and it's this surreal skeletal thing. It's that and the sound, that and the lighting, the green and blue lighting, which just feels so alienating, and just the sound, you hear the heartbeats. It all creates creates a great atmosphere, which makes the whole film engaging.
Green is a recurring theme in the film.
I mean, there's obviously aliens, but it's also because green light is not that common in nature. So when it's used in film, it can come across as, well, off-putting, alienating.
The green light does a good job at adding effect to the alien.
Yeah.
Adding scary effect to the alien.
Yeah. There's also a lot, and the blue. I mentioned lighting. Like, there's I mentioned most of the lighting, the majority of the lighting is either these like those fluorescent bulbs, like that clinical lighting, or the green lighting, which we went over, or the blue lighting, and except for the mother's room, which is basically where they ask the computer everything, which is probably the warmest place in the ship, which makes sense. Feels very womb-like.
Yeah.
And then, it also gets into the motif of and it also gets sort of into the motif of motherhood, and also just being, and also just and also it's a way of the movie perverts motherhood in a strange way. What did you think of the characters? What did you like?
Characters, the characters are fun.
Yeah.
They all have their fun, silly personalities. But the one I like most is Ripley.
Yeah, me too.
She's tough all the way throughout the film.
Yeah, she's tough, but she's also cautious, and for a lot of it, she's willing to. Like, a thing I like about Ripley here, and also just, and also later on, is she is always trying to help people survive in the best way she can, be it sacrificing, be it her willingness to keep who got infected. I believe it was Kane. Be it her keeping Kane out, or just saving Jones, their cats. Jones, their cat.
Jonesy.
Yeah. Also I like the characters. Like, they're not like the characters are not like normal characters you would find in a situation like scientists or other people like that. They're just, well, I've said before, they're space truckers. They just feel like random people. They're also, and I like, I'll get into how they incorporate the world building in a bit, but I like how they feel like real people, like the way they talk, their quips, their jokes, and the way that their audio is recorded, which is sometimes going over each other. It feels like you're just watching some like actual people who are put in this horrible situation.
I know.
Yeah, I like it. It's well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, as well. Well, we've been talking about the setup. Let's talk about the alien itself.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's a great monster. I love the Xenomorph. And I also just love how it's incorporated into the story. Like, there is no real exposition bit where they tell you, "Oh, this is the Xenomorph. It bleeds acid."
They never tell you it's a Xenomorph.
Yeah, exactly. They don't even name the thing. But
yeah.
Basically in this movie, it's so alien, and I just love how it progresses through the movie, starting out as this egg and going into this weird parasite, into the face, into like the face hugger, then into the chest burster, and then into the alien, which is this very well designed creature. Such a great design.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's also just, yeah. I also like, how did you think of it?
I loved it. It's awesome.
Yeah. So I guess we should just say our general thoughts and move on.
Yeah.
I think Alien is a great film. It's a very simple film. But it's incredibly atmospheric and engaging, and just well made. I'd probably give it an 8, between an 8 and 9. It's an incredible movie, and I would recommend it.
I'd give it a 7. I think it's cool. The alien looks cool, and the people are very fun and tell some good jokes. But the movie just appears like the movie is appears very plain to me. Yeah. And the background is flat, and there are a few scenes where the characters make dumb decisions, like the girl who's about to be killed by the alien at the end. She doesn't even try to run away.
I think
and
that doesn't.
she lets her partner die.
I think it's. I mean, what is she? I think she's just paralyzed with fright. She just doesn't know what to do. I mean,
she can run.
She's just. I don't. But where is she gonna run? She's in a corner.
She can run to a door.
She's in a. The Xenomorph is in front of her.
I know, but she can at least try to run to the side.
It doesn't really. Didn't really. That bit didn't really bother me. It just came up as. It is sort of. Yeah, it has a weird dream. It's just part of the weird dream. Like, I thought that just was sort of a. Yeah, it is a bit weird, dream-like quality at times.
Also, how does Ash let the alien in?
What?
Doesn't Ripley have control over the hatch?
No, I think he does. Alright. Okay, Aliens.
Okay. So, Aliens is about Ripley again. 57 years later,
Yeah.
she is woken up from her pod by a man in a suit, Burke, and his team.
Burke doesn't save her. I think there's just some scrap.
Burke and his team.
No, go on.
Yeah, and she's recruited by Gorman to find the alien along with his team of soldiers, and they end up fighting the alien again.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's
well, aliens.
yeah, there's a lot more aliens.
It's a very. What did you think of it, Luca? What did you think of it?
I think it's slightly better than the first.
Yeah.
Has good lighting. I like the aliens, and they have really good fight scenes there.
Yeah. I'll get into my. I don't want to compare it too much now, but I thought it on its own it's a great film. It's a very well made action film. The characters are quite likable, and the Xenomorphs are a good obstacle. Although, if I may say something a little bit of the Xenomorph, it didn't annoy you that they're like in the first film, like it had this simple. Some elements were very simple, like it didn't see, like mainly the head, like it's just this shiny. It's just this shiny plain thing, but the next film it's just covered with all this spikes and stuff. Like that doesn't ruin the film for me. That just sort of annoys me.
You mean the Queen?
No, like all the aliens. They have these frills which sort of annoy me. Anyways, I guess
one problem I have in the film is that they overuse the color blue.
Yeah.
Like it's everywhere.
Blue.
On the ship, in space, on the planet.
I think
it looks good while showing the scenes of the aliens, but other than that, it doesn't work.
I think that was a weird decision. I think it might maybe it's to just separate the two films, but oh well. Anyways, I guess we should start with Ripley. Ripley's back, and she's more like, and she is more. She's just she's very much more fleshed out. She's giving sort of like in the first film, like they don't really go into her or any of the characters' backstories. It's mostly just that. But this feels like. Let me start over. This feels like a very much more Hollywoody film, if that makes any sense, which isn't a bad thing. But I'll say what I mean more later. But I think a lot of that comes through in the dialogue, where it just feels like less real. Like it's well done, but it doesn't feel. But it feels more like it's in a film than in the first one. I thought it was.
I'd say that, but to a lesser degree.
All right.
It's not your typical Hollywood film.
I mean, it's not your typical Hollywood film, but it feels more like a. It feels more. I'll get into more of that later. I will say Ripley did make the film for me. She's very likable. I I like her, well, kind of motherly. She's sort of motherly in nature.
Yeah, especially towards Newt.
Yeah, yeah. She's trying to also just. This is also just sort of a really organic continuation of the first one. Like the ideas that they have more xenomorphs, the idea of the queen, the idea that they're impregnating people.
I think Newt is like any little girl who gets who has their family killed by aliens and is left out in the an air vent to survive.
Yeah. What do you mean she's just like everyone like that?
Like she's quiet, reserved. She gets scared easily.
So you think she feels like a very realistic little girl in this situation?
Yeah, like she's quiet and has trouble talking to adults.
Okay.
Like her whole family, her entire family's been killed by aliens, and she has nobody.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I liked her a lot.
I would say any little girl as it happened to them would be quiet or reserved.
Yeah, she does. That is. So yeah, but I mean, she is traumatized, which is something that's somewhat explored,
Exactly.
both with Ripley and her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's well done. I like that.
What are your thoughts on Bishop?
Bishop's fine. Like some of the Marines sort of just bleed together a bit to me. But Bishop's the guy with the skull on his chest, right?
He's an android.
Oh, I quite Bishop. Okay, Bishop. I like Bishop. He's sort of like in the last film. Not to get too far into spoilers. There's an android that portrays everyone. Of the name of what's his name? Ash. And I think Bishop is a good inversion of that. He's just he's much more. Yeah, he just comes across as just someone that's willing to help and is just somewhat. He's a good subversion of the last film. Also, what you think of the Marines? What did you think of them?
The Marines. I think they're cool.
Yeah, I like them.
Like they tell jokes. They fight.
Yeah.
They scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them. Go on.
They have they have all those characteristics nailed down.
Yeah, I like them. They were very. Some of them bleed together a bit in my mind, except what's the guy who's with Ripley till the end?
Hicks.
With the exception of maybe Hicks and I wrote her name. Vasquez. Those are the really Vasquez and their sergeant. Apon, I guess is his name. Apone. Those are the only ones that really stuck out to me. But I quite like them. I like their trend. I liked how they changed throughout the film. How they got panicked when they came across the aliens. They're well made.
Yeah, the Marines will start out unafraid of the aliens, and then as soon as the aliens attack, they immediately get scared.
Yeah,
they become more cautious and strategize their attacks.
Well, not immediately. That's after the first attack. The aliens just tear them apart.
They just bail.
They don't really.
Some get torn apart.
I mean, it's not like they have much else to do there. The only person's there to save is Newt, and they saved her.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Yes, this is. I guess we should go back to the Xenomorphs. I like the Xenomorphs in this one, although not as much as the first film, but we'll get into that later. I think it's interesting the way they make their nests. I like how they're shown to be strategizing in their own alien way, and also I just really like the Queen. It's a very impressive effect. I would love to see how they did that for some special features.
I know that they use people in suits to control the alien offsprings. I know they use materials to make the actual aliens, but they make like people wear a costume and move the arms.
Yeah. So you mean like So do you mean like with the Alien Queen, they have somebody in there, or is this just the little face, the chest burster?
I'm assuming they use suspenders for the Queen.
Yeah. It's also, yeah. I mean, there's just, yeah. I guess we.
Yeah. Another thing with the Queen, I think they made the Queen really well. Like her sack of babies.
Yeah.
They make it look so realistic.
Yeah. She's.
It's just a great scene where Ripley has to fight off the offspring. There she's in the nest of the alien.
All right.
She burns him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just awesome.
Yeah. Also, just.
So, what do you rate this film?
I'd give it a 7. I'd give it a 7, between a 7 and an 8. I disagree. I think it's slightly worse than the first film. You?
I would give it an 8 on the verge of 7.
Yeah. I think it's great. So, here's where the fun begins. How do you think the two films how do you think the two films add up when compared to each other?
Because of Ripley?
No, like how do you think they compare with each other? Why would you say Aliens is better than Alien? And also, do you think
Because Alien is too plain looking for me.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I think they're both great films, and if I were to be
Like the first one is kind of quick.
yeah,
But the second one, there's more story, there's more character development, and there's more action.
more doesn't always mean better. Though. I mean, like in the case of both films, if I were to go completely objective, I'd say that they're the same. And I mean, I like the first film, but I just like more atmospheric, dreamlike and movies. I think those are just more interesting to me than action films.
Yeah.
But it's so I just prefer. So although I prefer the first one, that's just fully up to taste.
Yeah, I feel a lot of atmosphere in the second one.
I mean, yes. I mean, I would agree. There's atmosphere, like especially.
Like, for example, the lighting, the blue lighting on the aliens.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. Aliens has a lot more. This might be very confusing. Aliens has its moments of atmosphere, but nothing comes close to the first film. Just compare LV 2426, like in two films. In the first film, it's craggy, it's foggy. It just feels like a real place to me, even if the effects aren't the best. Then you get to the second film and
Feels like a museum.
I wouldn't say it's a museum. It feels like you mean the second film?
I mean, it feels like the first one. It feels like a museum with a space background.
I mean the effect. Even when the effects are not the best, but they work for the film, and that with the sound and the lighting just makes the thing feel real, even if it doesn't look completely real.
Yeah.
I mean, and compare that to the second film, even though there's a lot of effort put into the environment of LV 426,
yeah.
it just doesn't have that same effect. And I understand in the second film they are terraforming it, so it has a breathable atmosphere, but it just doesn't feel as engaging.
Oh yeah, I have a recommendation to make the second Aliens better. They should have more scenes with Burke, like develop his character.
I think
Like they should make Burke appear longer. Like
go on.
he's a villain. We see him as the villain during the middle of the film. But it like when the other characters find out he's not so good, they don't really they don't really punish him or well, what can I say? They don't really punish him, and
They don't really.
they don't really do anything to him. I know he escapes, but that's when he gets killed.
So you would like if they showed the characters reacting to his change more?
I would like it if Burke had more action in the film.
I think Burke is fine. I'd like to see some more. I would like to see some more scenes giving him more depth. But I think he's all right. Do you want to give him more depth? Do you just want to see the characters react to his betrayal more?
Give him more depth. Have him interact with characters more.
Yeah.
They say around 100 people died on ship because of him.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
they don't. He hasn't caused too much trouble with the ship that the Ripley's crew is on.
Yeah. I mean, granted, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna leave?
I want to see more scenes. I want to have more scenes where they chase after him and he tries to get them to stop chasing him.
So, yeah. He doesn't really come across as an action
They don't really fight with Burke.
I mean, you mean actually fight?
Verbally or physically. Anyway.
Physically, he's not gonna. Physically, I don't think he's gonna put up much of a fight.
I know, but verbally, they don't fight much.
Yeah. I thought that was alright. Speaking of, as mentioned, the second film feels more like a. How to explain this? I mentioned in the first film how, although I do like the dialogue in the second film, they have a lot of memorable lines, it feels more scripted than the first film, which isn't too bad. It's not as, okay, and I don't, in the first film, in the first film, I say this, when I say this, I don't mean it as a insult to either film. In the first film, it's more of a horror film.
Hey guys, it's Luca again. Had to cut the video short because my camera can get the rest of it. The last part was me saying what movie I wanted to review next. And our next movie is going to be 2001: A Space Odyssey by Stanley Kubrick. Get ready for our next review, and hope you enjoyed watching our double feature review on Alien and Aliens. Bye-bye.